Welcome back, biology students. We are getting ramped up for week 3 of Mr. Charlton's biology class. This is going to be a full week of classes. So Monday through Friday, same schedule as we normally have Monday through Friday, where Friday will be a check-in to get help with questions or answers to anything that you're struggling with. So make sure that you check in on Friday, but also bring questions to get help. That's what Fridays are all about. So make sure you get that done. Let's jump into what you needed to get done and what you're going to be getting done for this week. So here we are. Before I jump into week 3, let me remind you of what you should have done on week 2. We had some notes where we talked about different body systems. Then there are the notes right there. And then you went into this web page and you got 3 different pictures of different body system arrangements, and you put those into Jupyter under that assignment, body system images. And then we did this together on Thursday and Friday last week. We answered an essential question. You finished off the last body system, wrote it on a piece of paper, most people did, and then you would take a picture of it, turn it into the Jupyter assignment called essential question body systems. So 3 assignments from last week. Now let's jump into what you got going on this week. We're going to learn about something called homeostasis, which basically is how your body works to keep itself not too hot, not too cold, not too dried out, not too, too much water, not too much sugar, like keep everything in balance. And that's what homeostasis is the balance between everything. And so your body has to work to maintain that balance. And so we're going to talk about that this week. Things you need to get done. So there's really 2 things you need to get done this week, but there's a third thing that I'm putting on your radar. It's not going to be due until February 8th, so you got some time on that. But I wanted to put it on your radar. And it's really going to depend on how far we get this week, because the notes on homeostasis, I'm not sure if we're going to get through all of them on Monday and Tuesday. They might come in on Wednesday and Thursday a little bit, or they might take the whole time on Wednesday and Thursday. So I'm not sure on the timing this week. So definitely 2 things you need to get done. This third one isn't due until February 8th. So what are the 2 things you need to get done this week? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take some notes, as we typically do, on this concept of homeostasis. And we're going to take some notes. Now, usually when I do the notes for homeostasis with my classes, I hand out a little diagram, we fill it out, and it makes things kind of nice and neat in your science notebook. Being in digital learning, I'm not going to be able to provide you with that handout. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put pictures of the handout here. But when we take notes this week together, we will recreate those diagrams in your notes. So, but I want to put a picture of them there as well. So that's the kind of stuff that might take the notes a little bit longer this week than I'm used to, is because it's not something I can just hand you. It's because we can't do that. So it'll take us a little time to get that copied down. So that's what we're going to be doing as one major assignment. So that's the notes. And again, when we finish the notes, I will put a copy of them right in here for you so that you can get them if you need them. The second assignment is you're going to use those notes. And how are you going to use them? So the notes are going to talk about like how your body responds to different temperatures, how your body responds to high levels of blood sugar, low levels of blood sugar. And so I'm going to give you some situations. And so you'll see right here, there's 4 situations: situation 1, situation 2, situation 3, situation 4. And so based on your notes, you're going to tell me what your body is going to do in this situation. So for instance, situation number 1 says, during a winter morning, you get out of a nice warm bed and are now in the cold air of your room, which causes your body temperature to drop. How will your body respond to get you back to homeostasis? Okay, so we're going to be creating diagrams in our notes that will show you what your body will do. You're going to use those diagrams in your notes to answer this question. You'll write them in a couple sentence answers, probably somewhere about 3 sentences, maybe 4 sentences. They're not too long, really small answers here. But I want you to give detail on this stuff, okay? I don't want you to, like, how's your body going to respond? Well, it's going to do something. Well, that doesn't tell me you know anything. So I need to give some steps, give me some detail, give me what exactly the little steps your body would take, step by step. Okay. And then there's 3 other situations about you eat a lot of chips and crackers at a party. It's the same situation as number 2, but in number 3, you might have been diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. How's that going to be different in your body? And then situation 4 is you go into a very hot sauna wearing only a towel and your body temperature gets hot. How is your body going to respond in that situation? And so what this is going to be is on a piece of paper. You don't need to copy the situations down. Just put situation 1 and give me, like I said, about 3 sentences telling me what the body's going to do in that situation. Then you give me situation number 2, and then you give me 3 sentences telling me what goes on in that situation, and so on for situation 3 and situation 4. So I'm thinking of a paper that has 4 situations, and then you tell me what the body is going to do in those 4 situations. We're probably going to do that together on Wednesday and Thursday. Hold off on that if you want to wait till Wednesday, Thursday. You can't do it anyway because you got to wait for us to go over the notes so you have the information to answer them. So, and those are basically the 2 this week: notes and these 4 situations. Now, the third thing, which, like I said, we may get to, we may not, but it is going to happen at one point or another. I want you to do a little bit of a lab activity at home. We're gonna actually do like a home lab, which doesn't require very much because I don't expect you to have like lab equipment and stuff. It's a very basic activity. It asks you to have a stopwatch, so you could use an actual stopwatch, or if you've got a stopwatch on your phone, that'll work too, or even a watch with like a second hand is really going to be good enough. And so you're going to write a full report for this thing. You're going to give a heading, you're going to give title, and we're going to go through the experimental process. There's a experimental question. We're going to do a hypothesis. We're going to summarize the procedure. We're going to collect a bunch of data. We're going to analyze that data by answering some questions. Okay. So what you're going to turn in me is a whole report when this whole thing is done. But again, it's not until February 8th. Maybe I'll put that right here just to kind of remind everybody. February 8th. So you got a little time on that one. And we're going to help you out with this in class. I'm not going to say just go do it and then forget about it. Like, no, we'll go over it in class. I just don't know if we're going to get to it this week. And so the instructions are here in what's called the lab protocol. And so I gave you the file if you want to print them out, but I also screenshotted them and put the pictures of the protocol in here. And you can see it gives you the experimental question. It gives you a sentence starter for the hypothesis. It gives you the procedure that you're going to summarize. It gives you the data tables that you're going to recreate and then fill in. We are going to graph. And so we'll get to that part in class. You can make a graph on a piece of paper, or if you want to make an Excel graph like this, because we taught that last semester, you could do that. And then you're going to answer these 5 questions in complete sentences. And this whole thing is going to be one report. All of these pieces are going to be one big report. So if you do it on paper, it might be 2 or 3 pages of paper. If you do it on the computer, it might be 3 or 4 pages on the computer. Okay. So it's really up to you whether you want to do paper or computer. That's totally up to you. But the whole thing is one report that you will turn in to Jupiter on February 8th. You might ask, what is this about? It's going to be about us doing some measuring our pulse. If you could do it in your wrist, great. If you want to do it up here, great too. And so you're going to find your resting pulse rate. You're going to do 3 minutes of exercise, take your pulse rate. Then you're going to do 5 minutes of rest, take your pulse rate, then another 3 minutes of exercise, then another 5 minutes of rest, then another 3 minutes of exercise, 5 minutes of rest. Each time after it's done, taking your pulse and measuring it. And then that will be the data that you actually graph. And we're going to see how your body responds to exercise and then rest, exercise and rest. Homeostasis. That's how your body reacts. Okay. So we will talk more about this, and it is not due this coming Monday. It's just put it on your radar. If you want to get a head start on it, I'm all for that. If you run into any problems, again, shoot me messages on Jupiter. But the only 2 things you have due this week are these 4 situations answered in complete sentences on a piece of paper and the notes that we're going to take in class during the week. That's it. Those are the two things. So I know there's a lot there, but don't worry. I'm going to walk you through it. Come to class, ask good questions, and we'll help you out. All right. So I'll see all of you on Monday or Tuesday for biology class. Have a good one.